Signalis is a classic survival horror experience set in the dystopian future where humanity has uncovered a dark secret. Unravel a cosmic mystery, escape terrifying creatures, and scavenge an off-world government facility as Elster, a technician replica searching for her lost dreams. That description does literally nothing for the game. So Signalis is I forget what, it's a German project, that's what it is. It's a German project that is very much based on the works of, what is his name?
William Shakespeare.
I just forgot Cthulhu, the guy that made Cthulhu. Lovecraft. I couldn't think of the word Lovecraft. So it is based on Lovecraft and another author that I can't remember, but she has a book in the game. But it is meant to be a story about psychological horrors that we cannot comprehend. And that is the whole thing about the game. I looked up more information on the game, so I was a bit more educated, and it boggles my mind, but I'll get into that later. Let's start off, since it's my game, I want to hear what everyone else thought about it. I'm gonna choose Barn.
So what I thought of the game was like it was really good. Like when it started out, I was just like, okay. So when I first started the game, I couldn't actually get by because I spent 15 minutes and then I had to like stop. So I was feeling really stupid. But then when I actually got past like the actual title screen to play the game, the atmosphere immediately started like getting me. Like it was really clear from the get-go that it was going to be really atmospheric and like more dark, and it felt like a Resident Evil game, like Resident Evil like 1 or 2.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. It was just like, and I was having fun with it. I got jump scared by a bunch of enemies because I didn't realize they were just going to jump out of nowhere sometimes.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's like the
general overview.
Yeah, it's just like a general overview.
Evan, your surface level thoughts.
All right, now here, Barn, you're just going to clip together a whole bunch of clips of me shouting at the game in frustration and exhaustion with some of the game's mechanics. This game, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but fuck, do not play it on the hardest difficulty with the classic inventory settings, because they do not care about balance at that point. They just give you the finger and have you deal with whatever bullshit they throw at you. I think aesthetically this game was incredible, and the visuals and art design of this game are almost impeccable, with the exception of like the weird proto-anime robot. Like every character was an anime waifu, which is whatever. Aside from that, the rest of the game was perfectly set up and organized, and the vibe of it was pretty immaculate. They nailed exactly what they were going for, which was this sort of like postmodern. I can't describe it very well. Looking at the game does an amazing job of describing what kind of game it is, and I loved a lot of the themes inside it, even though the gameplay of it really had me tearing my hair out at some points.
I can see it. Like, for those that may not know, Evan is what we call a masochist with games and refuses to play on anything other than the highest difficulty possible in almost everything he fucking plays.
I prefer the term glutton for punishment.
Yes.
Is that not what masochism is?
That's pretty much what masochism is.
It is a less demeaning way of saying that I'm a masochist.
Okay, as long as we're clear.
If you think that's less demeaning, I don't. I think glutton for punishment sounds worse.
Oh, no, definitely. That's the joke.
Oh. All right. But yeah, both of you really liked the game. This would have been recorded just to let everyone know, we're recording this on a Wednesday. We should have recorded it this last Sunday. I had a rough week, and I was the reason why we didn't.
Good job.
That does not mean that I myself didn't enjoy the game. I loved it. I thought it was super confusing because I kept trying to piece together every little note because I wanted to be here and be like, oh, I figured out the story. No, dear God, no.
Yeah, so actually about that, because I was curious too about the story. I looked it up.
Yeah.
It has left just enough for you to be able to theorize, but it does not tell you anything definitive except for a few key details. That is it.
Yeah.
And it was done that way by design because the way when I looked it up, the way it was put was perfect because they what it said was that there is a mystery of the game, but finding out the mystery itself is not the problem. It is the journey to get there that is maddening, and that's why they like tried to get the Lovecraftian horror element into the game, because they wanted everything to be maddeningly cryptic but also maddeningly simple at the same time.
Yeah.
Everything was there in front of you, but you just didn't know what happened. And I loved it. I was enthralled.
I think they really succeeded in sort of giving you just enough information to keep you sated while also like devoiding you of enough information to leave you starved and groveling on the floor. When I left this game, I sort of stopped and had a thought to myself that this is the kind of game made so that people could write video essays about it on YouTube. And I was speaking to Phoenix briefly after he had beaten the game, and he had said that, I was in the middle of watching a 2-hour video describing what the ending of this game meant. And I went, I
think I found that video too, because I was like,
Hold on. I mean, we're definitely going to be a smaller audience, but I still have the video.
Indie Explorer, right?
Yup. I've only gotten like 35 minutes in, but holy shit.
Yeah, it's insane, dude.
I haven't watched the video in question, but it is the first place that my mind went was people have made video essays about this game, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So since we're talking about the story, let's actually do a dive into it. So, forewarning, anyone wanting to play this game. So, the story follows, as the description of the game says, it follows Elster, the replica that you are. Replicas themselves are a biomechanical creation in the image and mental image of a actual person. I forget her name, but there's a reason why everyone is an anime chick. It's because every replica of a certain kind, actually I think it's every replica. Yeah. Every replica is based on the mental mapping of one of the characters you find out her name of. I wish I could remember it. But she went into the war, had PTSD to the point where she was nearly non-communicative. And they're like, oh, this person is really good because they are just completely docile and we can just mass produce them as a personality. But being a imprint of a consciousness on another body, there were some bugs. And I know that both of you went through the game and saw something called bioresonance.
Yeah.
Bioresonance is basically psychic powers. Psychic powers that influence the world around you physically. Some people can just see the fabric and hear the fabric of the universe, whereas people that have this bioresonance can manipulate it, which is where the Lovecraftian horror comes in, because the whole game you are chasing after one person. Again, I can't remember their name. I am the worst with name. Oh, no, Ariana. Ariana is her name. because you made a promise, which we'll get into Ariana later. But Ariana is like one of the most gifted bioresonance people, and she was located on the ship that you crashed in, which itself was powered by a bioresonance, not hers, a different one, and it amplified it so much so that the entire solar system is fucked. And it's her entire psyche morphed everything to the point where it's this hellscape, which you see in the game. So it's very hard to distinguish like what's real, what's thought, because it's her dream basically imprinting reality. And that's the long and short of it, which we'll get more into it later. I just didn't want to go on a 5-10 minute monologue.
That's kind of jumping the gun on like a bunch of stuff, but yeah, that's basically like the main story. You're just trying to find Ariana or Ariane.
And sorry to jump the gun on it. I just wanted to go through the entire story of it, and we'll drop down on specific points that we like. Plus, I didn't want the timestamp to be like 20 minutes in the future.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, one big thing I wanted to bring up, because Evan, you specifically looked up how to get the secret ending, and nothing really else about it.
I read what generally the secret ending was, but that was about it. I know what it is. I was surprised to see that there were multiple endings considering how linear the game was. And then I saw how to unlock all the separate endings, and I saw that if I can tangent off for a second, that you and Barn both got the same ending.
Correct.
I did
we
not
both
get
got
that
promise.
You got the death ending, right?
ending. No.
No,
did you get
death
artifact?
is the promise.
Death is promise.
No,
I got memory.
choice or circle? Memory. Okay,
No, that was it.
Yeah, I love the way that they decide endings. I think it's funny. I love it.
And like when I read how to get each of the endings, I was like just slightly off the mark for everything to get to the promise ending. It was like if I had played for 5 more minutes, I would have gotten death points. If I had died one more time, I would have gotten more death points.
I didn't die a whole lot, actually, surprisingly. It was just playtime, really, that got me.
I think if I killed 4 more enemies, another death point.
Yeah, that's rough, dude. I only died 5 times in the game, so I didn't get anything. I still got death points for it. Which Barn, do you know anything about how the endings are chosen?
Yeah, no, I looked it up too. I just did. I was thinking about going back and like getting the other endings, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to play the whole game again.
Yeah, that was my feeling about it.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'd gotten like, cause like there's the fact that you need to hit certain criteria, but to get like the artifact ending, you would have needed to get like every one of those plates throughout the game. I think I got 2 of them. And I don't know how many there were, but I got half of them, and then I didn't find the other half, and then I looked it up, and to get the artifact ending, you both need those artifacts, or like those plates, and then you need to have, throughout the game, kind of understood that it's telling you the code you need to enter into the safe in German.
Well, not quite. You can't get the secret ending on the first playthrough.
Oh, you can't?
No. So, I have a screenshot of this. I'm going to post... Did I post my ending screenshot in...
No.
Did I send it to you, Evan?
I think you might have sent it to me. Yeah, let me take a look.
No, I didn't. Where did I send it?
It was entirely possible that we were talking about it, and I'm like, I don't think Barnes saved...
Oh! Found it.
No, I don't think I did. But no, it looks like it looks like the artifact ending's able to get it.
No. It's... You have to do a second playthrough.
Yeah.
So the reason they lock it behind the second playthrough is there's a lot of things in Signalis that are gatekeepers for not sequence breaking. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, one of the last puzzles, the moon puzzle, where you need to adjust them to the right... What am I thinking? The right
Lunars,
phase of the moon?
Oh yeah, that's locked by how many you have, because I noticed as you went through, it would slowly lock areas off, which kind of fucked me up a little bit, because I tried to go through like an easy way to find something. It was blocked, so I had to run through like an army of enemies to like get back to the other area.
Well, the doors... The
army of enemies, oh boy.
show cue Evan dying 4 times. But no, so it's actually not the doors. So one of the biggest examples, so in that lunar puzzle, you cannot adjust the 4th moon because there's not the like dial plate is what it was called.
Yeah.
And you only get that dial plate after you do the tarot cards, because once you do the tarot cards, the dial plate falls. So it's all throughout the game, there's stuff like that. But the secret ending, just to loop back around, you guys can look at the screenshot I just posted in Discord. The bottom right characters, those 4 sets of 4, according to somebody else that's outside, those are the signifiers of the specific rooms you need to be in to play a specific radio frequency, which is the main like theme of Signalis. That one thing you hear at the menu, where you hear it a bunch of times on like the radio and throughout the game, the doo doo doo. That's the signal, the titular signal from Signalis. And that's where you need to go into those rooms. You get the keys to unlock the safe, and then you get the artifact ending. So it's a process. And when Evan looked it up, he's like, this is bullshit. But when I looked up the story, it's amazing.
I didn't necessarily think it was bullshit. I was just like, this is something that seems really deeply buried and is probably one of those things that people are going to have to find using like communication with the internet, is what more I meant about that, rather than like, this is stupid, why would you do it this way? No, I know why you do it this way. It's a secret. I love secrets. I'm a little fiend for secrets. But like something like this is just like, I don't think I ever would have figured that out. I don't think any of the 3 of us would have figured out what those letters meant or what you were supposed to do with them without looking them up.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was at. And then also, if you did the same thing I did, and just as soon like you solved the puzzle without knowing, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to need the plates in here, you can't go back. Once you unlock the puzzle for the moon, you are forced in, and you cannot go back. So if you don't bring the plates with you and you didn't save for a bit, you have to replay until you get the plates. And then
the plates were used in a previous puzzle.
No. These are like the plates for like the keys, the key of love, eternity, and sacrifice. You get those throughout the game.
Yeah, you just kept calling them plates when there were actual plates in the game, and I was like,
I got them mixed up. But you know what I meant. You know what I meant, right? Like, yeah.
Just to clarify it for anyone else, because you probably will show the keys on screen or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make everyone confused.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that.
I didn't find any of these keys.
You didn't?
You can't find... I'm pretty sure you can't find them on the first run.
What are you talking... I found 2 of them. I found... Yeah, that's... Like, you can get this ending on the first try. You just have to find the keys, dude.
I have checked like 6, 7 different sources, and every single one says you cannot do the secret ending on your first playthrough. And that is by design.
Skill issue.
I guess so.
It's like, and I'm certain it's by design, because the ending that I got, the one dude was like, if you do this again, reality itself will fold, basically is what he said.
Oh yeah. I think that's part of every ending.
Yeah, no, that's just who he is as a person. He's just a hater.
He
no,
is
but
a
like
hater.
it's hinting that there's still more to do in the game.
Of course, it is like a cycle. The entire point is like, he's been doing this over and over again.
And he's even, and because that's the main part of the game, is that, or like main point, is that memories of different like timelines are kind of popping into people's heads of their gestalts, who, and to clarify, gestalts are what the replicas are based off of.
Correct.
They're the humans. They're the humans that are based off of. And like, also that just kind of loops around to one thing. How long did it take you guys to figure out that you were Isa?
Is it Isa or Isa that? Oh, I think it is Isa that is the one that's the like base template for the Elster units.
Yeah, it was either Erica or Isa, but no, Issa's the one you run into, but it was her sister she was looking through for, either Lilith or Erica. But you were Erica she was looking for.
Yeah.
I thought. Hold on. I thought that Gestalt was not the person that became the replica, but rather a Gestalt is just notably not a replica. It is a human.
Correct. That is correct. So that when he's saying it's like they're remembering their memories from when they were a Gestalt.
Yeah.
Because the replicas are biomechanical. They are based on human bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So that Gestalts are a generalized term for just person of the group, and it's kind of heavily leaned on that in this alternate reality everyone's like communist, because there is no like individuality. You see multiple times throughout the game where Ariana, the person you're looking for, is criticized for having individuality in this artistic personality. And so like it seems like it's more like militaristic and communistic kind of thing.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Definitely.
But yeah, I have so much more of the story in my head, and I'm trying not to monologue, but there's a lot
there
to go over.
There is a lot to talk about.
I was gonna go more into gameplay since
Yeah.
I did little to no research after I was finished playing this game, because I was like, I think I like that it's cryptic and that it does not explain itself. And I think...
But it does.
It does, but it also notably does not
Correct.
give you information. And instead, I want to talk about gameplay. And I had a very different experience than both of you did, because you both played on the expected difficulty. And because I played on the hardest difficulty, it let me 100% the game. Don't recommend it, because there is RNG in this game. And if you know anything about me, is that RNG does not agree with me.
Can you give me examples on what you mean by RNG?
Shooting like enemies.
Okay.
The first enemy I encountered, here's a clip of it. The first enemy I encountered got up from the ground, and I'm like, okay, I understand what to do. So I pulled out my pistol, I aimed until it wouldn't aim anymore, and I shot. Guy went down, first shot. Okay, I understand how this game works. You have to be very careful with your shooting. You have to be very, particular with your shots. You have to be very dedicated to saving ammo and being careful. And so I encounter the next enemy. I take out my pistol, I aim down until it's lined up the shot, and I fire. He doesn't go down. I do the same thing. I fire. He doesn't go down. He hits me. I push him back. I aim down. I push him back. I aim down. I fire. He doesn't go down. I fire again. I think after the fifth shot, he went down, and I went, oh, God. Oh, God. Maybe I did something wrong. I think in the game, I one-shot 3 enemies in total. And in survival mode, they do not give you very much ammo. In the screenshot you shared, Phoenix, it says that you fired 229 shots. I fired about half of that, and most of that was the SMG. Almost all of that was I used all the SMG ammo. That's about 60 bullets. The rest of them... And the enemies killed, you got 86. I think I had 30.
Good God. And you also had very high double-digit deaths.
Yeah, no, it was I had 23 deaths, I think.
Oh, really? I thought you had a lot more.
No, it was something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but it was enough to get me the achievement for dying enough.
Which, I kind of want to loop around with something because we kind of just talked about the different endings, but not how to get them. I'm just going to make it real quick. Yeah. There are several different factors in the game, such as like enemies killed, damage taken, amount regenerated, NPCs talked to, that the game keeps track of. And after hitting certain thresholds in these, you get points towards either like the circle ending, the choice, the promise ending, or the whatever ending you got, Evan.
A memory.
Yeah,
memory.
You never told me what ending you got. You refused to say anything about it.
Yeah, I was just I was trying to save it all for now.
Yeah.
But you asked me.
Yeah,
for my ending.
Because you said like I beat the game, and I was like, I'm gonna confirm whether or not he did beat the game and not hit the fake credits wall.
Yeah.
Like
so
I
here's
did.
the thing. Even before you said that, it was very obvious that it was not the end of the game.
See, I agree with you. However, the game is very cryptic, and I was like, I guess that's how they're ending the game.
Yeah.
I didn't have that issue at all. I was like, oh man, the screen's different. New game, that shouldn't be there. Click.
Well, it wasn't new game. It said begin, and I was like, wait a fucking second.
I clicked quit, and it started the game up again.
What?
Yep. All of the buttons lead to continuing the game.
Again, very obvious that it's not the end of the game. So the fact that you said, oh yeah, beat it.
So, like, what happened was that I've seen games that change their main menu or something along those lines when you beat the game, either for the first time or something along those lines. If you've beaten the game, the menu changes a little bit. And so I was like, all right, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, this had a very dark ending, and it did not end in any sort of good way. I don't mean the ending was bad per se. I was saying like it ended in a very sort of like grim, dark tone where like the hero fails, and I'm like, I'll respect it for doing that. That's something that like a very few games or most pieces of media actually do. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting that they decided to just like make it so that you don't succeed. But yeah, I was wrong.
As is the normal case with Evan.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I can't see it as oh yeah, this is where it ends, because I think it's either before that or like during the credits or after that. When it's raw as fuck, you're on the ship and you're like, okay, I don't have an arm anymore, and my armor's fucked. Let me just yank this arm off of another bot, shove it on there, get her armor. All right, I'm ready to go. Round 2. Like,
And
that's
what
raw
a
as
round
fuck.
2. It is raw. It definitely is raw. But what a fucking round 2.
Oh, the round 2 was amazing.
Yeah. Definitely the after credits part of the game was my favorite part of the game, and it's probably the part I died the least in.
Because you were meant to avoid the enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there were multiple, like I know Barn probably had the same thing, where there were multiple points in the game where we just like used up our ammo. We're like, ah, shit, this sucks, and just went through with the game. One of which I know you did. It's that stupid weird cage monstrosity that walks on 4
yeah.
legs.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh, that actually, yeah, so I did use ammo, but at the same time, I still had a bunch of ammo left. I just used all the ammo I had on me currently. I still had like a ton of ammo. Also, funny thing is that it gave you the rifle after that. I got so much ammo for that. I never used that gun once.
You got so much ammo for that rifle? I got 6
Yeah,
bullets.
I got a lot of ammo for the rifle, and I just never use it because I'm like, no, the shotgun rocks.
I was gonna say, I think I got a total of like 17, 18 bullets for that gun.
18?
Yes. Yes.
What do you mean? I got got a total
Well,
of like 6 bullets, including the 2 that came in the gun.
So when you see a message on a game, Evan, that says the intended experience, I really want to know what goes through your head.
I'm gonna play on hard.
And then you do this where you complain
Well,
about
yeah, listen.
the restrictions you put on yourself.
Listen, he plays the game according to his own desires, and I respect that.
The funniest thing too is if you exit out of the game, you can change the difficulty and inventory at any time.
Why would I do that?
Because you're complaining.
Yeah, but I had fun. It was very challenging.
He did have fun.
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you
He
that.
told me himself through the tears. Oh my god! Can I just fuck? What were we? We were talking about gameplay and all that.
Gameplay.
You said the biomechanical thing. So I want to talk about an area in that section that you had problems with. You were like, "What the fuck's this room?" The one with the barbed wire.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even.
So you may not have realized, but the second you walk in that room, you can go to the right and through that pillar and skip like half of it.
What?
There's a pillar you can slip by that will let you just walk through it and skip like half of it.
Oh, the barbed wire room was like not a problem at all. No, ignoring go to the right. Flashlight revealed all the barbed wire.
Yeah, the flashlight revealed it, but like I didn't have any problems with it. But I just found that out on accident.
But the thing is, with the second one, I think it's the second one was the invisible one.
Yeah.
Fuck that room. But no, the first one, they like dogpiled you with like 7 enemies. All while you're trying to avoid barbed wire, and you're trying to conserve your ammo, so you're just sitting there like, what do? I have nowhere to go.
You just run.
I tried. I died like 3 times in that room because there were so many enemies.
Skill issue.
I think it was the second one of the barbed wire rooms or the nano wire rooms that were filled with enemies was one of the only areas in the game where I went in guns blazing. And I ended basically like, I am out of ammo. I have like 1 stun rod left, and that enemy is coming towards me. I have no choice. Come here, buddy.
Oh, that was so funny. You know how you had like the heals, right? Like, you know, all the heal, the sprays and everything.
Yeah.
I was constantly on orange health the entire game, no matter what I did. And then I figured out that, you know, the thing is like, hey, when you die, if you have this equipped, you'll revive yourself.
The auto injector.
You can just use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I told that to the Phoenix, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I want to use it when it's intended." I'm like, "Fuck that! Just pop it. Just, there it is."
Well,
Bam.
it's efficiency of healing, because if they hit you to where you die, that is a hit that you would have taken after you heal.
Oh, yeah, as much as I agree with that, I don't have the space in my inventory
Exactly.
to juggle modules.
Exactly. And sometimes I would just use it to be like, all right, I need room. I'm a little bit low on health.
Oh, Evan, you're gonna also hate me. I probably wasted about 6 shotgun shells, 9 revolver bullets, 12 pistol bullets, and 2 rifle ammo, because I didn't have room in my inventory for a key item, and I'm like, I'm not trekking all the way back. I'm throwing this shit away.
I destroyed some shotgun ammo too. Don't worry. I've destroyed med kits because I'm like, I need this key. I have like 3 key items in my inventory, and I don't know when the next save room is. I'm sorry. I'm full health. I've been playing carefully. I have no choice.
Dude. I hated those rooms where like you'd walk in and it's like, oh, it's super dark. But yet when you turn the flashlight on, it alerts them to the fact that you're there. So it's like, you have no choice but to fight.
So, speaking of the flashlight, you want to know why I used up a lot of ammo and barely had any for the last fight? I forgot it was on. And so I constantly, for the second half of the game, was just aggroing everything. Literally everything. And so I went into the final fight with like 20 pistol ammo and 6 rifle ammo and the flare gun loaded with a single grenade. It's like, this is all I got. Let's go.
That sounds roughly how I entered the final boss.
Yeah, sounds about right for me too. Except what I did was I got armed to the teeth and everything. And then I decided, hey, you know what would be a good idea? The second she moves, grenade launcher, all my fucking like AR ammo.
No.
But I didn't get how the mechanic worked.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I doing with this spear? Falk, what the fuck?
Why are you just falling onto your knees like 5 times in a row? What's going on?
That was my first death. I figured out the spear, like the entire mechanic of the boss, by the second attempt.
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah, it's by the second attempt I got it, but like by the first time I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
The first attempt, I used up literally all of my ammo because I'm like, I'm just stun locking. This fight is easy.
Oh god, why is it so hard? Oh, this is only phase 1.
Speaking of
out of like 6. Good God.
Speaking of that boss, man, that was a really fun boss fight.
Oh, it was super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was like the best part of the game was that final boss. That was so
I went
much
through
fun.
I went through the last 2 phases with 0 ammo. Fun fact, you can win the game win that fight without shooting once.
With spears?
Yeah, because the way I'm pretty sure it's both like time and damage based, like I was theorizing with a friend of mine. I think that it's like if you do a set damage, it stuns her. But the amount of damage lowers over time because on the last phase I had nothing, literally nothing. And I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna dodge everything like a god, because I had like 6 medical supplies that I wasn't using. So I just walked around and eventually she throws the spears and then eventually again she drops down on her knees. And I'm like, okay, it's easy enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was bad and wasted a lot of ammo in that fight.
I had no choice. I couldn't afford to waste ammo. So I used all of her attacks to kill all the minions that were spawning. So I would I would do that, like walking around her like part of the fight for every phase of it, because every time they spawned ads, I was like, all right, I guess you gotta kill him now. And I would just circle her. I never got her to drop on her knees without shooting at her. Although I don't think that's a survival thing. Maybe I just didn't do it for long enough.
It took me like 5 minutes on the final phase.
Okay. I must have been really close on one of those phases because I was walking around for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, maybe it's only timer based if you are out of ammo. Maybe they have that in the game. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I actually want to, like, because we're still talking about gameplay, but we're talking about like combat. As I feel like for some reason this has become my role. The puzzles of the game, I loved the puzzles of the game.
Oh, I really liked most of the puzzles.
Yeah, like, so the save at the beginning was like, okay, I got it. And then on the second go around, when you have to go back, I was immediately like, wait, this is the same room. Does the key, do I need to find a different code, or is this the same one? Use the same code. I felt like a genius to remember that I had that code still. I was like, oh my god, I did it. I'm a genius.
I think I enjoyed like the majority of the puzzles. I found a lot of them were like a slight tad bit too easy for my taste. But there were. That's not to say that there weren't some puzzles that like got me stuck for long enough. The flow puzzle, the water flow.
Yeah.
Really?
I just suck at it.
Oh, the flow puzzle I had no problem with.
Gives you the solution in a book right next to
I
it.
did the puzzle first, and then I read the book, and I hated myself. It's in the video. Here's the clip.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I had no issue with that. It took me a bit to do like the lock picking one and like the one to turn off the incinerator. But
okay.
But like I like the majority of the puzzles.
Yeah.
The one I had the most problem with, and it's in the same vein, it's gonna be real bad when I just made fun of Evan for doing this. The ring puzzle, the 3 different rings that you get, and you need to put it on like that one statue's hand to get the plate of love.
Yeah, wedding Ouroboros and.
I had a little bit of difficulty with that one because I read the book and I was like, oh, this is the puzzle for the rings. That's how you solve it like instantly. I knew. But I didn't know what was the start and what was the end, and I had to like flip everything around until it made sense. I was like, so wait, does nothing means there's no ring, right? Or does nothing mean Ouroboros because it's eating itself and it's wasting time? It's probably nothing. Does that mean that it goes on the 3rd finger or on the 2nd finger? Which one is it right to left or is it left to right? I don't remember what the solution eventually was, but it wasn't my initial.
Yeah, I didn't have it took like once I got all the rings, I ran back there, and it took me maybe like it kind of sat there for a second. I'm like, okay, I had to flip through the book again, just kind of like because I couldn't remember it. But once I read it, I'm like, oh, okay, I have to do this, then this, and this, and then I got it super easy.
Yeah.
Evan, what finger do you put up first when you like if you need to signal the number 1 to somebody?
Middle.
Why
finger.
is that the solution?
Well, if it's your
The
first
pinky
finger,
was on the left.
but it's not the first finger. You don't start counting 1 with your pinky.
I don't think that's it. I think in Italy they actually do start with the pinky.
Do they? That's weird.
Well, it's not made in Italy. It's made in fucking Germany.
I understand, but what I mean is that different cultures start counting on different fingers. And this was made in Germany. I can't just assume like, oh, obviously index is for 1. No, I was just like, okay, hold on. What direction do they want me to go with this puzzle? Do they want me to go with like index is the start or is pinky the start? I can't interact with the thumb, so maybe thumb is just like far off on the right. All in all, the puzzle took me 1 minute to solve. I just swapped around the rings for like 20 seconds and I was like, oh, that's the solution.
Took me like 5 because I was looking everywhere for that fucking solution that was in the room.
Yeah, no, I got that. So how I figured it out was like, because I was like, okay, which way do we need to start with? And then I was like, oh yeah, you put the wedding ring on the ring finger. There you go. There's the key. There's the like the whatever, the 3rd one or whatever. I went from there and then I just kind of branched out. So I feel like that's a pretty good way to solve that puzzle. Because you're like, okay, I know nothing about what they're wanting me to do, but I know that typically it's called the ring finger for a reason.
Yeah, I put the wedding ring on that finger as well, and I'm like, why puzzle not solved?
Work.
Also, I said 5 minutes trying to figure that out. It's more like I spent half an hour looking for a 4th ring. I was like, there's gotta be a 4th one. There's 4 fingers I can put rings on. I gotta find the 4th one.
Meanwhile, it's saying, oh yeah, on this one ring, there's nothing.
On this day, nothing happened. Where is the ring for nothing?
I didn't realize that was like, because it was only 4 days, and I was like, oh, well, it's a 5-fingered hand. I didn't know that you couldn't put rings on the thumb. I thought you could.
What's symbolic?
It's like, why is this here? Okay, cool. On the first day the piggy went to market, I don't give a shit. Where's this 4th ring? And then I was like, wait a second, hold on. Am I dumb? Spoilers. I am dumb.
But my most, the puzzle that I am the most ashamed of was not actually a puzzle.
No.
When you drop down into the flesh pit for the first time, you walk up into the next room. There's some hospital beds and some corpses. You walk into the next room. There's a little devotee altar. And I was stuck in both of those, like that stretch of 3 rooms for like a half hour because I did not see an indicator for a door just on the left.
Yep, I did the same thing. It wasn't for a long time, but like I was like, where the fuck do I go? And speaking of this, like I brought this up to Barn, but I need to ask you, Evan. When you got to the 3rd section on the new playthrough, when you lost your map entirely, how much did it fuck you over when you couldn't bring up the map anymore?
It threw a wrench in my plans. But, like, I opened the map and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I don't have a map. And then I realized why they took the map away is because you walk into a left door and you come out from the left. And you're just like, oh, this is non-Euclidean geometry. This just doesn't make sense. I get it now.
Yeah, it makes sense, but you realize how reliant you are on that map.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, is there any door that I missed in this room? And then you see like one little grayed out door and you're like, aha, that's where it is. But no, like I was scouring forever. So the flesh area and the last area, I could not figure out where the fucking doors were. Because the last area, you can't see like the door caution tape behind the cage.
Yeah.
Back to gameplay though. Let's did anyone else, whenever they were given a number, write it down?
Yeah, I have a list of numbers in my phone.
I have a piece of paper next to me.
Names.
Yeah. I took screenshots constantly, was saving them in like my own DMs. Now, what I want you to know, or what I want to know, is how long did it take for you guys to realize that you could use the camera they give you for things like, not like you can't take a picture of like the entire room. You can take pictures of puzzle solutions.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that until I was in the flesh pit. I was like,
I didn't use the camera once.
I didn't use it until then because I'm like, oh, this is so annoying because whenever I take a screenshot, it closes the game. And then I look, I'm like, oh, it gives you an in-game thing. I was like, the whole time I'm like, why the fuck would they give you this?
I use that one time and one time only. Is that when there's that little glass container with the screen in the middle of it and the recorder, and you have to flip through the signals until you like a new thing appears on the screen. There are 6 signals, and the component gives you 6 pictures.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what it was honestly designed for.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I felt like it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send a picture in the chat because this is what I did for that puzzle, and I think you were in the call when I was doing this puzzle, Barn. Because you're like, you have an eye, and I'm like, no. It took up an inventory slot. It didn't. I just misread it. But this is what I did.
Oh my god.
That's cute.
I've done similar stuff, so I'm not like judging you.
Feel free, show it on screen.
I
don't care.
I plan on it. Don't worry. I'm saving it as we speak.
Here are the images I took for the game.
Oh my fucking god, Evan! Oh my god, this Evan screenshots exist.
Evan, what is that first one? What is that even supposed to do?
Secretly are digged, pores ought to suffice.
Oh yeah,
Evan.
Yeah. Holes in the earth are dug when they ought to. That line went hard. So I'm like, holy shit, they messed up.
I forget what that was for.
I don't even know it.
Oh yeah, I took that same picture of like the X-ray. Yeah, like the X-ray from the card.
I actually had a method of remembering that I am very proud of, because I just said 3 2 3 all 1 2, and like I just kept repeating that like a mantra while I went to take the blank key and do it. I was just saying it. If I wish I had my recording, because I was just repeating it over and over for like 30 minutes because I couldn't find where to fucking put the blank key again. But yeah, so that's how I puzzle solved. I have a list of like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 different numbers that I was like, I'm gonna need this later. I needed 1 because I crossed it out. Speaking of that 1 number, actually, I'll segue into the next thing. What did you guys think about the safe in the second run through where you could use the same code you got in the first one?
Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I felt like I was like, oh man, I remembered it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I mistook what it was.
Oh
then.
no,
I can't remember what I was
I
thinking.
understood it instantly when the document said like, yeah, it doesn't matter if we reset the code, it always goes back to the initial code. So on the second playthrough, when I walked right up to that safe, I didn't hesitate. I put in the same code.
I
Yeah.
felt smart.
I had to take a look at the document again just to make sure what the code was, but like I just remembering that I had it was nice.
I actually didn't need to go into the document to look it up because I wrote down all the codes that you hear flipping through the signals, and one of those codes, for whatever reason, is the safe code.
Oh no, they actually talked
They do
about
explain
that. They explained it that they were like, oh my god, someone has access to that and they can hear the safe code. We need to stop this immediately. But they couldn't change it back because of the default or like the defect that was happening with it.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was one of the first notes. Speaking of notes as well, that's how I knew I was in like a new game plus. I would have figured it out because I opened up trying to get to my map and also see my inventory, and I just see like 30 million notes, and I'm like, oh, it's not a new game. Got it. That's what signaled me into it, that I still had all my documents.
Yeah, I went on a mission to find like as many things as I could read as possible.
Same.
I loved it because it gave a lot of backstory and stuff. Because like for example, there's another character you meet in the game that's not Issa. It's like another replica.
Yeah.
And she hides under a vent. She hides in like an area with plants. And she's like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. I don't want to deal with this anymore. This is stupid. This is bullshit. They're using us and keeping us like under control. And then you read like the note on her version of a replica, and it even says, hey, this kind of replica needs like a plant as like a fetish to keep her personality intact or stabilized. And I was like, oh, it actually tells you about them, and you actually meet some of them. You don't meet like the big skull the skull ones, that like the big robot girls, because that was a boss.
No, you do meet one.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I forgot about her because I don't know what happened to her. I think she died, probably.
Yeah, if you exhaust her dialogue, she just like, I'm gonna
Goodbye.
die. I don't know what that means exactly. Is death real for us? I don't care anymore.
Oh, the dialogue between the two?
No.
Oh, yeah.
There's the dialogue between the two, and then the dialogue of the Mina that's dying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember.
you.
Yeah. Also, there's like we've already explained, this is spoilers, but like throughout the game, like Isa's like wandering around trying to find her sister, and she's fighting tooth and nail. When the second game started, like when the credits went up and she was like in the mirror and like her hand is like all bloody, and like that like the scenes in this game go fucking hard, even if they make no sense on like first watch.
Oh yeah.
Like they go incredibly hard. Like Evan was saying like before, the art style, like the style of it, immaculate. I loved it. Like the eye at the beginning, I was like actually like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is cool as hell.
And then it goes into like the faded eye in the fake one. And I was like, oh, this is so good. Yeah, the art style is amazing. And as we go on with this, our audience will figure out I am a sucker for pixelated art. Even if pixel art, or if it's like the 3D, but like pseudo pixels. I don't know how to like say it, but
it was pixel art.
No, it's 3D models.
3D pixel art.
But no, like I don't know what the post process is, but there's games like it. That one game that was a demo, Evan, not Darkwood. Where you like I watched you sneak around the same place like 40 million times because you were trying to find a secret.
Grime?
No, not
No.
Grime. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'm looking through my Steam list as we speak.
Extensive Steam list.
But it's that art style where
Gloomwood.
it's meant Gloomwood. Thank you. It's meant to. It's 3D models, but there's like this post-processing effect that pixelates it, And I don't know why it screams to me, but I just love the look of it. Because
No, it looks great.
yeah, I can't explain it. So what was the one thing that confused you guys the most in the game? I'm just curious.
Weirdly enough, it was like story-wise or gameplay. Oh, okay.
Just the thing that you were just confounded on why it existed, or like not in a anger way, but you're just like, what is the point of that? Because I have one, but I want to hear your guys's first.
I would say like the thing that confused me the most, like gameplay-wise, was it was actually the radio, and for only one specific reason. It's like, why is there not a button to activate it in like, like when you're out of the menu? If you can adjust them while you're like, you can adjust the frequency while you're out of the menu. Like that made no sense to me.
Yeah, there are situations in which I really wish I could have just hit that button for those screamers.
Oh my god, those like the signal, like that, like the frequencies actually hurt my ears at some point, because I was like, I walk in the room and it's like, oh, it's really quiet. Walk in and I'm being screamed at, and it hurt my ears. I had to like turn the game down after that. But
Makes sense.
yeah, that's about the only thing that I was confused on.
So the thing that confused me, because I was keeping track of a lot of things, the solar system, I actually realized that it was our solar system, just differently named. I was extremely confused how we got to Rotfront. I was like, how? The Rotfront is one of Jupiter's moons. I'm pretty sure it's Titan from the research I did. But, oh no. I can't remember actually. No, it might not be Titan. But it's a moon farther out in the solar system, and we're just suddenly there. And I'm like, how the fuck did we get here? Because you were on what's the first planet you're on? You're on
Fang.
Mars,
You're
pretty
on
sure.
Fang.
Oh, you start off on Fang?
Yeah, that's like the first.
Or no, it's
world you're
Lang.
in. Oh, Lang.
I don't think so, because Lang is where you go in one of the first-person areas, the radio tower. That's Lang, because Lang is Pluto.
You're Pluto.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But no, you start off on a different planet. Somehow you're on Rotfront, and I'm just like, how the fuck did you get here? And that was one thing I specifically had to look up. And apparently, the ship you crash landed on is not only in like hell, that weird dreamscape fleshy hell, it's also on 2 different planets.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that. That didn't confuse me at all. It's just like, oh yeah, I don't think anything in the game actually happens in a corporeal realm aside from when you're actually in the ship.
It is when you're on the planets and everything, in the ship as well, but you are in more of like a dream world whenever it gets like fleshy.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, because the whole game you're looking for Ariane. I can't remember how to pronounce her name.
I always say Ariana.
You knew where Ariane was the whole time.
Yeah, but because the whole thing is like, because you're going to find her in order to fulfill the promise, and the promise is that she didn't want to die due to, if I'm remembering this right, if I'm reading the scene correctly, she didn't want to die to radiation. She wanted to die by the hands of the woman she loved, which was Elster. And so you choke her to death while she's in her pod, and then you die right then and there. Mm-hmm. Because you were always going to fade right there. Because in the first ending, quote unquote, you walk past a bunch of different Elsters that have tried but have failed, and just pass out right then and there.
And that's why Adler, I think his name was?
Yeah.
Or Alder. I forget
Alder.
Alder. That's why Alder was like, you've done this hundreds of times before. What makes you think this is different? Which Alder is just your biggest hater.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to make this go on too long. I just looked at a recording and we're a ways in.
Yeah, we're an hour. I mean, weirdly enough, this has a lot more to talk about than fucking Armacroft.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Just a little bit. Fine. I mean, I'm not the one editing it. And throw up fuck you on the screen. Yeah, that's right. Do it.
Oh, sorry, it's weird. His mic cut out, so like.
I don't really have too much else to talk about because I've already said most of the story, and that's what I was just enthralled by. The only other thing that I wanted to comment on, I hated the first person sections for one reason.
Slow.
You can't strafe because you go at like a quarter of the speed of your.
Oh yeah.
Weirdly enough, I didn't hate any of the other like first person sections. Like I didn't hate the beach, I didn't hate the school, I didn't hate any like the the radio tower. I didn't hate any of that. I hated the first one because it's the only one you have to click on the screen to advance for some fucking reason. I'm like, because I tried that when I went to the other first person section. I'm like, okay, obviously I have to click, and you didn't. You can just move around normally like a regular fucking person.
Yeah.
Why? What the fuck?
As soon as I got to that first scene, I'm like, oh boy, a first point and click adventure game. Yay!
Oh boy, Armor Krog again.
Well, probably more missed than anything, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
The last thing I think I have to say about Signalis is I'm going back to like the first thing I said about Signalis. RNG is a bitch. Like 2 or 3 of my deaths have been because I enter a room, I kill something, and then I move on, and I have to backtrack. So I go back through that room, and as I'm walking through the room, the corpse decides to get up and attack me and kill me because they put you into danger on the first hit on survival mode. And then when I loaded and walked back through that room, guess what happened? That's right, it didn't get up.
So you thought you were safe?
No, I mean, like, it never got back up. For the rest of the playthrough. That specific corpse never got back up.
I think they can't get up more than once.
No, I died. And then when I respawned, it didn't get back up when I walked into the room like I did the first time. So the game just killed me, and I could do nothing about it.
Fuck your shit, dude. The only criticism that I have about Signalis is there were multiple times in the game that damage was unavoidable. And it was... Go ahead.
No, I was gonna go, yeah.
And it was purely because of how the enemies were placed in the room. And I get it, you're meant to kill off some enemies that may be blocking off, but in a survival horror game where you are basically told to keep your ammo count in check, it sucks when you have to like make a decision to get an enemy down and then they can just get back up and block the doorway again. And it's just so much unnecessary damage that I took from it.
They gave you the things that you could use, the flares that could destroy the bodies, but I never used them. I think I used it once, and I'm really glad I used it once, but the odds of that specific body getting back up were pretty low anyway.
Yeah, I only had to do it on like maybe 2 bodies, but like I had like 7 flares by the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't need to use them. Yeah, I just kept running through. I didn't kill anything. Like most of the time I would shoot, but I was like rushing. And what's funny is that's actually like the thing about the game, about the promise ending. It's even like, hey, so how do you get the promise ending? Is you say, I am trying to get this goal done. Fuck you. Get out of my way.
Yeah, both of our playtimes, Barn, were significantly lower than Evan's.
Yeah, I was 8.5 hours. You were like an hour behind me, and he is 4 hours more than us.
Yeah,
I was an hour ahead. Thank you.
11 hours and 55 minutes.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at what you played recently, and that's at 7.8 hours. That's what I was going off of.
It says total active playtime in hours. If you get more than 12 hours, you get +1 death. I got 11 hours and 55 minutes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So yeah, would everybody like to? Are we gonna wrap this? Oh, sorry. Go on.
I just had one final thing.
Sure.
And it's just the like techie in me that I love it. They start off all pages at 0, and I appreciate the detail.
Oh.
Whenever you pick up a document, it's 0 out of 0, and then you go to 1 afterwards, and I'm like, yes, technology starts at 0. Fuck you.
011001100. Very cool.
Correct.
Very cool technology.
Evan, you were last to rate it on Armacrug, so I'll be last to rate it here.
That sounds good to me. If we wanted to give final thoughts on the game, we'll go around and talk about what we thought of the game finally. We'll summarize everything. Barn, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So overall, how I would say it's like gameplay, it could have been hit or miss. I felt like sometimes it was a little hit or miss. Like legitimately, I could not like shoot most of the time just because I couldn't quite tell where I was aiming. But like puzzles, atmosphere, like it made me genuinely want to go back and play like Resident Evil 7 or like just any Resident Evil game because like the vibe of it was great. Overall, I would say that it's a must play. I have to say, it's not like required or anything, but like if you have a chance to play it, you should definitely play it.
I enjoyed the game quite a bit. I think that the game was really frustrating at points, mainly because of my play style, obviously. But as much as the game frustrated me, I did really enjoy my time with Signalis. Though at some point in the middle of the game, I was really hoping that the ending would come sooner rather than later. Visually, this game is a treat. It really is a feast for the eyes. And I'm going to give it a 16 out of 21.
All right. I've already given a lot of my thoughts. I don't need to go too much into it. Gameplay, extremely solid. I didn't have as much of a problem with the aiming. I felt like it was a really good design choice on my end. The map design, though, was where it started to lack for me. The moment that you lost the map is the moment that it was really hard to find doors. And that is the second half of the game. So that does detract it for me a little bit. Otherwise, the music, phenomenal. The themes, phenomenal. The story, phenomenal. I would have to give this an A+. Like, not quite S tier. Like, I'm not saying it is like a universal must play, but if you even have the inkling to like this series, I would play it if I were you. Not series, game style.
Yeah, I was going to say series.
Game style. Let me correct myself.
No.
But yeah, A+ out of 10. Totally. I didn't mean to say out of 10, but I said it. Who has the list for next week's game?
I do.
Well, master, spin the wheel.
All right. The next game shall be Neon White.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm actually perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I've been wanting to play it for a while now. So this might be the only one that I actually streamed my playthrough of, honestly. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll see you guys next time once we have tried Neon White. So I don't know if you do. You don't do intros, right?
Nah, barn.
Barn. This isn't in the video yet, so
Yeah.
barn. I'm gonna get a post-it note, post it on my face, and have it said.
I mean,
barn.
that's gonna go in the video. Just you constantly saying barn. That's
Barn.
barn.